I'm a different person, to be honest, and I think the kid that showed up at the University of Oregon isn't me anymore, and you know, there's aspects of my game that have changed. I've become more vocal. I've become more outgoing, and there are things that you have to do to be a quarterback, and the way the quarterback carries himself. I think that I've done a great job of becoming that over these past 4 years.
I will say this: if the NFL draft were based solely on hair, Justin Herbert would be the first overall pick, and they would shut it down after one selection. There would be no one else worthy of even getting on the stage. Justin Herbert, the Oregon quarterback. That was at the podium the other day. He was here with Chris Sims and me. Josh Norris is in for Chris today, who continues to be under the weather. I never understood what that phrase means, but we all know, I mean, where it came from, like under the weather. Like, what does that mean? He's sick. He's sick. He's got the flu. The whole store's got the flu. Hopefully the whole store won't get the flu because he was here passing it around on Tuesday before he got sick. All right, Josh, quarterbacks and receivers working out tonight. Justin Herbert from Oregon will be working out. Joe Burrow isn't. Tua Tagovailoa, recovering from the hip surgery, isn't. Who are you looking forward to seeing doing their thing? Prime time tonight in Lucas Oil Stadium.
Let's continue down this Justin Herbert path. You all saw that he threw, 32 touchdown passes last year. I watched all 6 of his interceptions. There were some red flags there, Mike. This is a player who I don't know can make magic outside of structure. It's one who I think has to hit his back foot, then find the open receiver down the field. I know Chris has loved the way he throws the football. I do too. He has lasers. I mean, there's plenty of arm talent out there. He has the arm to make every single throw, but the decision-making at times, and what really stood out to me, was all 6 interceptions, 0 disruption. So it was just what was going on in his mind, a misread, a wrong decision in those moments that caused the interception, and that cannot translate to the NFL.
And that's an interesting point because in Patrick Mahomes, we see the ultimate example of a guy who is really operating 2 plays. The play they call and then the play that he pulls out of thin air or from some other orifice when it all falls apart and he makes it work. We've had the conversation this week about Kirk Cousins.
Right.
Kirk Cousins can't do that. And I think, so let me take it this direction. Who are the guys from this quarterback class that you believe would have the ability to be more like Mahomes, where when it hits the fan, they can create, they can be loose, they can be confident, and they can make things happen even if the intended play falls apart?
Yeah, right now as we sit here in late February, only 2. It's Joe Burrow and it's Tua. Joe Burrow consistently showed that this year, and everyone talked about his small hands. Obviously, fumbling was an issue, and he faced quite a lot of disruption with LSU this year, but he's able to keep his eyes up in those situations. He's certainly, I wouldn't call him as athletic as Patrick Mahomes, certainly not as athletic as Lamar Jackson. A lot of these other quarterbacks that can, make space and make plays happen outside of structure, but it might be like a tier below an Aaron Rodgers, who is someone who is very good at escaping out of the backside or climbing up in the pocket.
But if you're a tier below Aaron Rodgers, right? I mean, this is
I just mean mobility.
Okay, but this is the first overall pick in the draft. I mean, the thing with Joe Burrow that confuses me.
Yeah.
And I don't watch as much college football as I could or should because I'm traveling every Saturday to New York for what we do on Sunday. But with Joe Burrow, this guy comes out of nowhere, right?
Totally.
Come out of nowhere.
But if we go back, it's not exactly out of nowhere because being recruited by Ohio State is not out of nowhere.
But I mean, as a performer at the college level, it's 1 year, it's 15-0, it's Heisman Trophy, it's national championship in, the NFL junior that is the SEC. There's a lot of good there. But for him to, and let me ask you this: if Tua Tagovailoa hadn't gotten injured, would he be the number 1 overall pick over Joe Burrow?
I cannot answer that question because Tua Tagovailoa did get hurt, and Joe.
Oh, come on!
I'm serious. I mean, both are quality players, and I'm not sure. And we've heard only glowing reports from Tua's hip.
Of course
we have. And that's another what-if scenario, right? So I'm not sure if every team, 1, they need a quarterback, right? 2, if they love Tua. And 3, if they have a clean medical on Tua. All 3 of those have to align for him to be a top 5, top 10 selection. And that's an equation we don't know.
But the other concern, and the GM told me this when Tua got injured, 3 lower body injuries at the college level. If you can't stay healthy at that level, you are not going to stay healthy at the next level. And if you're using mobility and you're putting yourself in harm's way, it's just going to keep happening.
You mentioned one-year quarterbacks, Kyler, Mitchell Trubisky, a lot of others recently have just been 1 year as well.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.